Hello there, I'm Sam, and today we are going to be playing Phrase Detectives. So let's go over this game real quick and learn how to play. So, when we play Phrase Detectives, we will be asked our opinion of how phrases in texts, fiction and non-fiction, refer to each other. This will be done in two in-game styles. Name the culprit. We'll be shown a text with a phrase highlighted in orange. We'll be asked if this phrase refers to an entity, person, or object that has already been mentioned in the text. Or detectives conference, when we have to, when we will be asked if we decide with another detective's decision. So, yeah, let's start the case. Our case is on the Taro Tsujimoto Wikipedia page. I really hope I'm pronouncing that right. Let's get started. So, first question. Taro Tsujimoto is an imaginary ice hockey player that was legally drafted by the National Hockey League's Buffalo Sabres in the 11th round of the 1974 NHL entry draft. Yeah, technically it has been said before. The question is, has the phrase been said before? The answer is yes, because it's mentioned at the Wikipedia page, so I would say yeah. Now we have to see, has this phrase been mentioned before when he was in the hockey draft? And the answer is no. What? Apparently that was... What? Oh, okay. Okay, I don't understand why that's wrong, because this was the first mention of... Unless it meant, was this the first mention of him being drafted, in which case it was that. I thought it was referring to when he had been drafted. The important part was the when, but okay. A phrase in orange, and it's near... Yes, I would agree. Punch Imlach was mentioned before. No, it's not mentioned before. Okay, next question. Does he, the word in green, is this a property? And I would say yes, because it's referring to Tsujimoto-san. He decided to have some fun at the expense of the league and president for 28 years. I think that's a property. No, that's wrong. Okay, fair enough. I now was a bit confused by... Okay. So, he had some expense at the league and president of 28 years, Clarence Campbell. Another detective has said the phrase in orange has not been mentioned before. I don't see any previous mention of the president, so I'm going to agree. Cool. Also asking if the league and president has been mentioned before. Has not been mentioned before. I don't know how to interpret this, because is it saying that the league hasn't been mentioned before? Because I'd say it kind of has up here. Or is it meaning that the president hasn't been mentioned before? I'm going to assume that's referring to the league entirely. So when he says the phrase has not been mentioned before, do I agree? I'm going to say no. Okay, whatever. That wasn't correct. I think that needs to be a bit clearer. Apparently it's wrong, but as I say, I think that needs to be more obvious about, is it referring to the league or to the president? Because that could be, I felt that could be read either way. The phrase in green is a property. I'm gonna disagree with that, because it's just referring to it. It's not a property of it. Oh, that was actually right. Okay. The phrase in orange has not been mentioned before. I agree. Him being the president for 28 years was not mentioned before. Clarence Campbell and contacted Public Relations Director Paul Wieland, I hope that's right, for the translation of saber in Japanese and a common Japanese name. The phrase in green is a property. I agree. No, that's wrong. I have to say I don't know that I'm really understanding this property business. He decided to have some fun at the expense of when the 11th round. Yes, that has been mentioned before. Another detective said it's not been mentioned, but I disagree because it's mentioned up here, so I'm going to say disagree. When the 11th round surfaced, Imlach chose to star center Taro Tsujimoto of the Tokyo Katanas, a team from the Japanese Hockey League. I agree the Japanese Hockey League has not been mentioned before. Cool. Another detective has said the phrase in orange has been mentioned before, and its nearest mention is the phrase in blue. No, because the NHL and the JHL would be different things, wouldn't they? When the 11th round surfaced, Imlach chose to star center Taro Tsujimoto of the Tokyo Katanas, a team from the Japanese Hockey League. The NHL made the pick official. As the phrase in orange has been mentioned before and its nearest mention is highlighted in blue. I think so, because he's the pick, isn't he? No? Okay. I mean, I thought I was referring to how he was like front and centre, so it would have been mentioned before. I feel like property is too ambiguous a word. Maybe it needs to be a bit clearer what they mean, because it kind of, yeah. Or am I just being really stupid? The NHL made the pick official, and so it was reported by all media outlets, including the reputable. No, Hockey News has not been mentioned before, so I'm going to agree. Reputable magazine, the Hockey News. Phrase in orange has not been mentioned before. I think that's isn't that the same question as before? Imlach did not clear the air about the fake draft pick until weeks later. The air? Okay. I'm assuming he means like... Because this whole section refers to a bit of a joke that's been had on people. So... I'm gonna say yes, it has been mentioned before because it's I don't know. I'm gonna guess. Oh my god, that was right. Until weeks later. No, weeks hasn't been mentioned before, so has not been mentioned. I'm agreeing. He admitted. I disagree because we're talking about Imlach, who has been mentioned before. The question says, another detective said the phrase in orange has not been mentioned before, but we're talking about Imlach, so has not been mentioned before. I disagree, it has been. He made up based on a name he found in a Buffalo phone book. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. '. I'm paranoid now because there's no Buffalo phone book that's been mentioned before here. So I'm going to agree. Yes. Has not been mentioned before. Yeah, that phone book has not been mentioned. Tokyo Sabres. Phrase in orange. Exactly before Tokyo Sabres precisely has not been mentioned before, but they're using but they're going on about how katana was loosely translated as saber, so has not been mentioned. I'm going to disagree just because I feel like it's a bit ambiguous about where it's coming from. Okay, so it was more specifically asking for the exact, has Tokyo Sabres been said before? Right. The NHL made the pick official. Phrase in orange has been said before, and its nearest mention is highlighted in blue. Yes. So we got 72%. That's not too bad, I don't think. So, yeah, that was Phrase Detectives. So, yeah, that wasn't bad. I think, as I say, some of the ambiguity about what the properties are and what things are referring to and which parts are being highlighted, I think that could be cleared up a bit more. But on the whole, yeah, I thought that was all right. Yeah, that was good.